Hello there, my name's Scott. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the Z-Atty-Pro and the Z-Atty-U, which I purchased from www.houseofhybrids.com. Now, no need for any disclaimers today, but what I do want to point out though is that I originally purchased these around 4 or 5 months ago, and they took several months to actually be delivered. And during that time, houseofhybrids.com have now stopped selling outside of the USA. Instead, they've got a team of distributors in different countries, and if you are in the UK, you can go along to www.vaporizers.co.uk. Okay, let's go straight ahead then and show you what's in the tube. Okay, so both my Z-Atty-U and Z-Atty-Pro came in one of these plastic tubes. Inside the tube, you've got all foam in there with this obviously like a circle going through the middle, and all your atomizers and bits and pieces sort of shoved down that central column there. And it's a really good way of transporting a product out, because it really does keep it all nice and compact in there. So if the postman does happen to sort of drop it or stamp on it, you know, you've got no chance of it actually sort of damaging the product. Okay, so inside the tube you're going to find the following items. So the main thing you're going to obviously get is your atomizer. Now I ordered the Z-Atty-Pro, which is this one here, and these are designed specifically to be used with a Pro Vary. But I also ordered a Z-Atty-U, and these are just like a regular sort of 510 connection, so you can use it on your Silver Bullet, your GGTS, etc, etc. Then in addition, you're going to get 2 different sized Allen keys, a 5mm syringe and blunt filling needle, some Canthal wire, and 2 bags of pre-oxidized wicks. And you're going to get 1 bag which contains 6 of the 400 by 400 mesh, and another bag which contains 6 of the 325 by 325 mesh. Okay, so the Z-Atty-U and the Z-Atty-Pro are identical, with the exception that the Pro has this skirt going around the bottom now. And the reason for that is so when you attach it to your Pro Vary, it gives it like a hybrid or all-in-one sort of look, and it does look really nice. On the base here you have a 510 connection, and it has a nice feature of a sprung-loaded centre pin. So obviously when you're attaching it to your Pro Vary, or in the case of the U, whatever device you're going to attach it to, you're going to get a really nice solid connection there. On the top you have your hole for a 510 drip tip, and pretty much every drip tip that I've tried fits in there very nice and snug. There's a quartz tank which I believe holds around 4ml of e-liquid or 5ml of e-liquid, and the rest of the parts are made out of surgical grade stainless steel. It does have a top cap which is held in place by O-rings, and the advantage of that is that you can position the air hole wherever you like basically. So if you want the most amount of vapour, you can sort of position the air hole directly in front of the wick. If you want slightly less vapour but more sort of throw hit, you can give it a twist, move it away from the wick, and that will give you that result. Now if I'm going to be a little bit nitpicky, it's to do with these top caps. Now I've got the Z-Atty-Pro, the Z-Atty-U, the Genesis Mini and the Genesis Standard, and the finish on all of the parts is excellent with the exception of the top caps. Hopefully you can see there as I spin it around, you can see the actual grain of the finish is pretty much all over the place. 1 minute it's going sort of left to right, just get in the right light. Then it's going up and down, and then it's going around like a big circle. And you know, it does sort of let the overall build quality down a little bit. But it does sort of polish out a little bit, so it does look a little bit better. You can see there's a big sort of swirl there. And but nevertheless, even though this has been polished now, it still looks quite bad really. Okay then, moving on though, so let's go ahead and show you how to get this set up and vaping. Okay, so these Z-Atties come with pre-oxidised wicks, so you haven't got to worry about doing all the oxidisation process yourself, which is good. So all you need to do is take out one of the pre-oxidised wicks, drop it into the wick hole, push it down, and you want it so it's just about sort of 1mm from the bottom now. Then once that's in place, you just got to take a pair of scissors out and just cut off the excess. You then need to cut off a piece of the Canthal wire. Just give yourself enough obviously to work with. Then I hold it against the body underneath the negative terminal, which is obviously that one now. Hold it in place with my thumb or my finger, and then just take the larger Allen key and tighten it up. Okay, so now the wire is trapped underneath the negative terminal. I can just start wrapping some coils around the wick. Now the amount of coils you add is going to obviously determine the resistance, and I'm going to add around sort of 5 coils, something like that. And then obviously, because I'm using it on a Pro Vary, if I'm finding that the resistance has come out sort of too high or too low, then obviously I can adjust the voltage to suit it. Now you may be wondering what this thing's doing here, and that's because I find that the wicks that come with the Zen products, they're very sort of floppy, and I find it quite hard to actually wrap a coil around that. So what I've done is just stuck a syringe down the centre there, just to sort of stiffen it up a bit, makes it a little bit easier to wrap your coils. And once they get to the top here, I'm just going to trap it in between the screw there and then tighten it up in place. Then you just need to take the smaller of the 2 Allen keys and just trap the wire there. Now to remove the 2 pieces of excess wire, you can use a pair of cutters, but personally I prefer to apply a bit of tension, give the wire a spin in a circle, and then it will break off nice and clean. Usually. There you go. Okay, so at this stage I'm just going to attach it to my Pro Vary, so then I can check the resistance of the coil and make sure everything's going to fire up correctly. Like I said, the Pro version does have this skirt going around the base, and it is going to cover up the chamfered top cap. So to attach it, you just got to screw it on. Now this is screwed all the way down as far as it will go, and it doesn't sort of cover up all the chamfered top cap there. You are left with a bit of a band. Now where I've got this gold plated, it does actually look quite nice. One slight negative though is that there is a bit of sort of movement now, and so it means that whatever you do, you always got one side that is showing slightly more band than the opposite side. You can see that the band is sort of almost not visible, but now it is. You know, so a little bit annoying, but you know, there you go. Okay, so let's go on to the next stage. Okay, so I've just done a quick test fire, but I can see that everything's not firing up correctly. Hope you can see the top coil and the bottom coil are glowing, but the middle ones aren't. So what you need to do is just get a pin out and just give the little coils a slight nudge, just sort of move them away from the problem. And as far as I can tell in this light, they all seem to be firing up correctly now. So just need a little bit of fiddling. Because basically what would happen is that obviously one of the coils is going over an area that is slightly unoxidized. Okay, so let's add some juice now, then we can see how it's actually going to fire up. Okay, so I filled up the syringe with some 80mg strength tobacco flavoured e-liquid. And all I need to do is to fill up the tank, you just insert it into this small hole and give it a squeeze. That's about enough, I think. Okay, so after a while, you should hopefully see the capillary action start to work there. And I think it's already done so, actually. Give a little tip to help you on this way. That's it, you can see it's starting to fire up nicely straight away. Okay then, so just going to add a bit more juice onto that, actually. A bit on its way. And everything seems to be firing up as it should. So all I need to do now then is add on the top cap. Now like I said, because I want to obviously get the most amount of vapour out of it, I'm just going to make sure that the hole in the top cap is lined up directly in front of that wick, which is about there, something like that. Give it a spin, then add on my drip tip, and that's it, I'm all ready to go and have a vape. Okay, so that is the Z-Atty-Pro. Let's go ahead and see what it vapes like. Okay, so that is the Z-Atty-Pro and the Z-Atty-U. Now I know I'm only sort of focused on the Pro there, but they are identical except for that little skirt that goes around the bottom now. And we'll give you a quick blast on both of them. I'm going to start off though with the Pro. I've got the tank filled up with some 18mg strength tobacco flavoured e-liquid, and it's just a PG based e-liquid. The coil is reading 1.8 ohms and I've got my Pro Vary set to 4 volts. As you can see, like vaporise, produces plenty of vapour. What you have to bear in mind though is that the amount of vapour you're going to get will be very dependent on your own sort of personal setup with regards to what resistance you've made of the coil, whether you're using a PG based e-liquid or a VG based e-liquid, and obviously what sort of voltage you've got your Pro Vary set to. But nevertheless, with the setup I've got here, getting plenty of vapour. And the same thing goes for the throat hit as well. Get a nice strong kick in the back of my throat. But again, it will be quite dependent on your own sort of personal setup. One thing I completely forgot to mention in the close-up shots was the size of the air hole. And it's probably the biggest air hole I've got in any of my sort of Genesis atomizers. And it is an exceptionally airy draw. I mean, like, imagine getting like a McDonald's straw and just sort of sucking through that, and that's pretty much the amount of resistance you're getting, or sort of lack of resistance, I suppose. So you do have to sort of almost change the way that you inhale on it. It's a lot easier, you're going to get better results if you sort of inhale as slow as you sort of possibly can. Where it has got that quite big air hole, I do find that the actual the vapour comes out pretty cool as well, even if you have got a very sort of low resistance coil set up on now. But for those people who like to do like a direct lung inhale, where you're taking the vapour straight down into your lungs, you can really take really nice long drags and just get plenty of vapour. I normally do a lot of mouth inhale, but I will do a direct lung. And you can see, you're just getting a massive cloud of vapour there and shortness of breath, but obviously a lot of people do like to do the old direct lung inhale, but me personally, I prefer the nice mouth inhale, give that nice sort of kick in the back of the throat. We'll quickly switch over then to the U. I've just got this attached to what's known as a roller, which is from a Greek sort of manufacturer. It's a really nice device. I purchased it about a week ago, and it got delivered in about sort of 2 days, which was fantastic. So this is the Z-Atty-U. And like, once again, you're getting plenty of vapour and that out of it. Now, this, performance-wise, there's not a great deal else I can sort of really tell you about it. One thing I will actually say, I do find that the flavour, maybe it's due to the size of the air holes, but it does seem to come out a little bit less stronger compared to other Genesis style atomizers. It's just my own sort of personal opinion. And it could be because of the air hole. I can't see any other sort of reason why, because if you think about it, all Genesis atomizers are pretty much identical, really. It's just like the looks and the like the build quality that separates them. But obviously on this one, it does have a far larger air hole compared to other sort of Genesis style atomizers. Now, I'm not saying in any way that the flavour is muted or poor or anything like that. The flavour is still great, exactly what you would expect from a Genesis style atomizer, but not quite as good as some of the other Genesis style atomizers that I've got. My only sort of slight negatives really are the finish on the top caps. Now, if you just look at it like that now, you'd never notice it, but if you really do look at it and you look at the grain, rather than the grain going nicely left to right all the way around, it goes left to right, then it goes up and down, then it goes across, and then in a big sort of circle. And at one stage it looks like somebody's got a bit of sort of steel wall just gone round in a little circle, which really does, for me personally, sort of spoil it. And it's a shame because the rest of the build quality is, is fantastic. Other slight negative as well on the Pro version is that even though you do have it screwed all the way down, at least on all the Proveris that I've got, which I've tried it on, it does rock, only slightly. But once you get it sort of set in the right position, you don't have to sort of really worry about it. But other than that, they are very nice atomizers. Love the fact it's got a little sort of spring-loaded centre pin. You're getting plenty of vapour out of it, you're getting plenty of throat hit. And you are getting plenty of flavour, but not quite as much as what you might find on other sort of Genesis-style atomizers. But nevertheless, though, they are a very nice atomizer. And if you've got something like a Proveri and you want to get a nice hybrid, there's no doubt about it, it does look absolutely fantastic. Okay, if you do fancy trying one of these out for yourself, go along to www.houseofhybrids.com if you're in the USA. If you're outside of the USA, obviously, and outside of the UK, I'm not too sure where you're going to go, but check out the houseofhybrids.com over there. I have some information on their site there. But if you are in the UK, you can go along to www.vaporizers.co.uk. Thank you very much for watching, and also come along and visit my website at www.e-cig-reviews.com. That's e-cig-reviews.com. Cheers guys, happy vaping, see you later.